The fire had eaten half her face. Her tattoo was gone. Her chest was carved open. No one could tell if the body was a man or a woman until they saw the gold tooth. That gold tooth, that tiny sparkle, that was how her mother knew. That's my Mma. But let me take you back. Back before the field. Back before the fire. Back when Mma was still alive and free and laughing in the sun. In the warm, sun-drenched town of Udu, there lived a girl named Mma. Everyone knew her, not because she was the prettiest, though she was beautiful. Not because she was the smartest, though she could talk her way through anything. People knew Mma because she made you feel something. She had that kind of energy that sticks to your memory like palm oil on fingers. She was the kind of girl that danced barefoot in the market while buying plantains. She was the kind of girl who would wink at an old man and make him smile like a boy again. She had a small tattoo on her chest, her name and the day she was born, and she had a tiny gold tooth that flashed every time she laughed. When she laughed, you wanted to laugh too. Mma wasn't like others in Udu. While most girls were planning marriage, Mma was planning her next adventure. She left for Ezi Town after gaining admission to study mass communication. She rented a tiny room off campus and painted the walls with handprints of her friends. No curtains, just light. No rules, just her own voice. At night, the room smelled like roasted groundnuts and pink lip gloss. Her playlist was full of Asa, Fev, and some old Lucky Dube her dad used to play. She missed home, but she didn't want to go back. She was building her world, her pace, her rules, her magic. Mma had her way with boys, not in the way people gossip, no. She just made boys feel seen, even the shy ones, especially the shy ones. She would call them fine boy and make fun of their bad shoes. She would collect food from their plates and give them that "what will you do" smile. But deep down, Mma wanted something deeper. Someone who wasn't just trying to impress her. Someone who would listen, not just look. Someone who could handle the wide and the quiet inside her. She had not found him yet, but she was open, wide open. There is a story they tell in Udo. A small child once followed Mma down the street. Why? Because she thought Mma was a rainbow. That is how she looked that day. Hair in colorful beads, a yellow wrapper, a sky blue top, and a red slippers. The child pointed and whispered to her brother, "Look, she is shining." And then came the month of May. It was a normal day when she disappeared. No screams, no blood, no broken door, just silence. Like a candle that burns bright, then suddenly goes dark. And when they finally found her, they didn't know who she was, except for one thing. That small piece of gold. That little tooth she got on her 18th birthday. The one her mother did not like, but her father secretly paid for. That was how they knew. But this story is not about death. Not yet. It is about how something so warm, so human, so full of life can be destroyed in silence. It is about how monsters do not always come with claws. Sometimes they come with a smile and say, "I miss you." This is the story of Mma, the girl with the gold tooth, the girl who made the town light up when she walked past. And this is how her story ends. But first, let me tell you how it began. In a dusty corner of Umueke village, not far from the school town of Ezi, there lived a boy named Toby. If Mma was the flame, Toby was the smoke. Quiet, always drifting in the background, barely noticed unless you were looking. He lived in a small yellow house with peeling green windows and a mango tree in front. The type of home where you will still ask for permission before switching on the fan. Toby shared a bed with his younger brother. His father was a STEM retired teacher. His mother sewed off in front of the house, and no one ever raised their voice except during football. At first glance, Toby was just ordinary. He was 19, smallish, soft voice, wore faded polo shirts and rubber sandals. He always say, "Sir" and "Ma." He carried his books like they were borrowed, even when they were his. He had just entered his first year at the polytechnic in Ezi. People said, "That boy is well trained. Mama raised him well. He won't even look a girl in the eyes." But people forgot that quiet does not mean kind. Toby met Mma near the junction outside Ezi Poly. She was buying airtime. He was fixing his shoelace. She looked at him and smiled. He looked at her and looked away. She asked him, "Why are you looking like someone that lost his meat?" He smiled shyly. She laughed loudly. That was the beginning. She asked for his number. He stammered, wrote it down. That night, she tested. "Hi, shine boy. I'm Mma. I'm hungry. Do you know how to make indomie?" At first, it was small things. She would call. He would come. She would say, "I'm bored." He would find jokes on Twitter to make her laugh. He borrowed his father's old white truck just to see her. Sometimes he bought her suya. Sometimes he just brought himself. He wasn't rich. He was not bold, but he was there. She called him my houseboy jokingly. He laughed, but not always. She told her friends, "He is sweet, Sha. He does not talk much, but he cares." They would tease her. "Ah, so you like church boys now?" She would roll her eyes. "He is just nice to have around." That line, nice to have around, not need, not love, just nice to have. Toby, on the other hand, felt like a tree that did not check the wind first. He stopped hanging with his classmates. He skipped church. He started asking his dad for more fuel money just to see her. He memorized the shape of her voice when she was sleepy. He loved when she called him Toby, Toby in a sing-song tone. He even started planning things in his head, where they would live, what their children would look like. He never told her, but the feeling in his chest was real and dangerous. Then, small things changed. She stopped picking his call late at night. She stopped texting back immediately. She started ending calls with "talk later, I'm tired." He noticed, but he did not speak. Then came her 21st birthday. She invited everyone to a party in town. He did not get an invite. He saw the pictures online. There was a guy, older, bearded, wearing gold chains, with his arm around her. She looked happy. She looked free. She looked like she did not remember him. It was a Saturday, the kind when the clouds hold back the sun just enough to make the air perfect. Mma woke up smiling. She had made it to 21, the age where in her words, you are not old, but no one can call you a child again. Her room was decorated with hanging balloons, plastic flowers, and strings of old pictures with her friends. A pink 21 was taped to the wall. She wore a short red dress, braided her hair into a crown, and wore gold eyeliner just under her eyes. When she stepped outside, even the motorcycle riders slowed down to stare. The party was held at a small lounge near the bus park. It was not fancy, but Mma made it feel like Lagos Island. Laughter, music, energy. Her friends were there. Some of her lecturers even came by. And then a man walked in. No one knew his full name. People only knew him as Zubie Benz. He was older, beard trimmed, drove a black SUV, wore sunglasses indoors. Rumors said he had money, big money. When he hugged Mma, her friends said her smile changed just slightly. And when the pictures surfaced online the next day, there was one where Zubie's hand rested softly on her waist and Mma did not pull away. That one photo broke Toby. He was at home that Sunday afternoon, lying on his mattress with one hand behind his head. He had just finished eating eba when his phone buzzed. Someone sent the party pictures in a group chat. He opened them. He swiped through. Then he stopped. It was the picture. His hand began to shake. He zoomed in, zoomed out, zoomed in again. He stared for almost 5 full minutes. Then, without thinking, he turned off his phone and lay flat, eyes open, breathing slow. He did not cry. He did not scream. He just went still. Toby did not go to school the next day. He did not reply to messages. He did not go to church on Wednesday. He barely spoke at home. When his mother asked what was wrong, he just said, "I'm tired." He started having long, silent conversation with himself, looking at the ceiling like it held the answers, clenching his fists when no one was watching. His younger brother said he heard him whispering to himself at night, "You think I'm a joke, Abby?" Almost a month after the party, Toby cleaned his father's truck. He wore his best jeans and a striped shirt. He oiled his hair. He even sprayed his father's old cologne, just a little. And under the passenger seat, he slid a knife wrapped in a black scarf. He drove to Mma's lodge. When she opened the door, she did not smile immediately. "Toby, you came." He nodded. She asked him in. He refused. "Can we talk outside? Just small." She stepped out, holding her phone and keys. He opened the passenger door. She got in. That was the last time anyone saw Mma alive. No one knows the full conversation, but neighbors said they drove off around 7 p.m. One person said they heard raised voices as the truck passed the last gate. They drove down the main road, past the church, past the football field, and into the abandoned cocoa farm behind the old sawmill. That place was quiet. No people, no light, just trees, dried leaves, and silence. What started as a talk turned into a fight, and what started as heartbreak turned into horror. Toby, by all signs, had planned everything, but maybe deep down he was still hoping she would say, "It was a mistake. I still want you. Let us try again." But Mma did not say any of that. Maybe she told him to move on. Maybe she told him he was just a side boy. Or maybe she laughed. Whatever it was, it broke the last thread in his mind. He grabbed the knife. In the quiet of the cocoa field, under a sky turning dark, Toby did what no one expected from the boy with the quiet voice. He stabbed her again and again and again until her voice stopped, until her breath slowed, until she wasn't there anymore. This was not just murder. This was erasure. He dragged her lifeless body into the open. He poured petrol on her chest where the tattoo was. He took out the parts with her name. He sliced off both her breasts. He tried to burn her face beyond recognition. He left the knife sticking out of her throat like a signature, and then he drove home. He thought he had hidden everything, the fire, the wounds, the identity, but he forgot one thing. Mma's gold tooth did not burn. After leaving the cocoa field that night, after setting her body on fire, cutting off her name, her chest, her face, Toby drove home. He parked the truck like nothing happened. He wiped the steering. He scrubbed the boots. He hid the knife. Then he slept. And the next day, he returned to her lodge. "Where is Mma?" He knocked on her door like he always did. Mma's roommate opened the door, yawning. "She no come back with you?" He blinked, acted confused. "Yes, we talked, but she vexed and got out of the truck. I thought she came home." They looked around. They checked her bed. "No, Mma, she is not back yet." Toby sighed, put his hand on his head, looked down at the ground. Then he said, "Something is wrong." That evening, he returned again, and the next day, and the next day. Each time, he acted more worried. He held her picture. He sat on the front step. He cried real tears. He told neighbors, "She is the only one that ever saw me." Some hugged him. Some gave him food. One woman even said, "That boy loves her. See how his eyes are red." Meanwhile, Mma's mother was calling her phone. No answer. She called again and again. 3 days passed. Her mother took the first bus from Udo to Ezi. Her uncle came with her. They knocked on the landlord's door. They asked the roommates. They went to the campus. Still, no one had seen Mma. And Toby, he came again that day too, with red eyes, holding a bottle of malt. On the 5th day, a local farmer walked through the old cocoa field with his goats. He smelled something. At first, he thought it was a dead animal. Then he saw the blackened remains, a body burned, face gone, chest gone. The only thing left was a small gold tooth, glinting faintly in the sunlight. He dropped his stick and ran. The body was taken to the mortuary and labeled unknown woman. Police had no leads. Mma's family filed a missing person report. When the police connected the two, the missing girl and the body, they asked her family to visit the mortuary. Her mother fainted when she saw the body. Her uncle cried like a baby. At first, no one could say for sure it was Mma. The tattoo was gone, the face was destroyed, but the gold tooth, the one her father paid for on her 18th birthday, was still there. That was all they needed. It was Mma. He showed up the next day as if nothing had changed. He sat under the mango tree beside her lodge, asked one roommate, "Has she come back?" They said, "No, it is not looking good." He nodded slowly. Then he cried again, the kind of cry that made people say, "Ah, he truly loved her." But behind the tears was nothing. The police did not suspect him, not at first. He was too young, too clean, too soft-spoken. No one imagined that the killer had already murdered her publicly. If not for one small mistake, he would have walked away free. 10 days after the murder, Toby's father decided to clean out his truck. He opened the boot. Inside, deep in the corner, he saw it, a blood stain. It had not washed off completely. He touched it, sticky, faint smell. He called Toby, asked him what happened here. At first, Toby denied it. Then he broke. He sat down, put his head in his hands, and said, "I killed her." Toby's father was not the type to cover up evil. He grabbed his son by the collar, put him in the truck, and drove straight to the police station. When they got there, he said, "This one is not my son anymore. Do what you must. We will make more children." The officers listened to the full confession. They wrote it down. They were stunned. The crying boyfriend was the butcher. He almost fooled everyone, but monsters always leave one fingerprint. In this case, it was a tooth. By the time the police announced that Toby had confessed, the town of Ezi exploded in shock. People could not believe it. That quiet boy, the one that used to buy suya for her, but he was crying every day. His friends said he was heartbroken, yes, but a killer. The evidence spoke for itself. The confession, the knife, still blood-stained, found buried near the truck yard, the photos from the lodge showing the last time he was seen with her, and of course, the blood in the boot. The courtroom in Ezi Town was packed. Elders sat in silence. Youth stood outside by the windows. Reporters came from far towns. Toby wore a plain shirt and sat with his hands folded like a boy waiting for a school punishment. When asked why he did it, he said, "She cheated. She told me she liked someone else. I loved her. She made me feel small." The room went cold. Even the judge leaned back like he had just swallowed pepper. On May 27th, 1 year after Mma's death, Toby was found guilty of murder, but the final sentence shocked everyone. 15 years with parole. The room was shocked. Her mother screamed, 15 for fire, for cutting, for lying. Some say the judge considered that Toby confessed that he turned himself in, even though his father dragged him, that he was young and it was a crime of passion. But what about Mma? What about the chest he cut out? What about the fake crying? What about the burning? What about the goat tooth? In Odu, the elders called a meeting. One old man said, "If he comes back, don't let your daughters greet him." Another said, "A boy who burns what he loves will burn again." They poured libation for Mma's spirit. They prayed her soul would not wander, confused by the short justice given. Toby is in prison now, but if he behaves well, he could be free before his 30th birthday. He might walk again on the same roads, see the same buildings, maybe even fall in love again. But some people, especially the ones who knew Mma, they say they are not afraid of Toby now. They are afraid of what he might still become. We like to believe monsters live far away, that they growl, wear masks, hide in forests. But sometimes monsters say good morning with soft voice. They borrow their father's truck. They bring you suya and they cry after killing you. Toby tried to erase her, burn her name, hide his guilt. But he forgot one thing: gold does not burn, and the truth, it always finds its way home.